Welcome to Baker High Wildcats football. And now, Baker High Wildcats football.
And good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Friday night edition of Baker County Wildcat football right here on 97.5 WFBB. I'm Mike Cruz, joined as always by my partner, Jackie Baker, and we're set to bring you all the action 2023 Baker County Wildcat football. You heard that right. We're set to bring you all the action 2023 Baker County Wildcat football. We didn't think we'd be here tonight, Jackie, but here we are. We'll talk about that later, but Wildcats getting set to do battle here. Kickoff classic, and doesn't feel like that time of year just yet if you feel the temperature outside, but it's football season.
Can you have a reunion tour, Mike? 1 year, not even 1 year after you were supposed to retire?
I think we have to wait like 10 years for that. But
glad to be here, though.
I'm happy to be here. Wildcats on the field to do battle tonight with the Union County Tigers. We got a lot to talk about. These two teams on the field getting set. Union County dressed in their yellow bottoms. They look like LSU. LSU with the purple jerseys and the yellow helmets. Wildcats with red pants, red jerseys trimmed up with the black helmet. And we're set to go here in the kickoff classic, and a high kick. It's going to come down to the 5-yard line, and they'll fair catch it and take it out to the 20-yard line, which is where we'll start the ball game. Jackie, kickoff classic format here. This game does not count in either team's official record for the year, but this is that test each year that each team goes through to see how well prepared we are through all these fall practices, all the drills back in the spring. Led you to this point where you've got football on Friday nights again.
It's one of those games, Mike, where you never count it unless you were the underdog team, and if you happen to pull it off, you talk about it all season long about how you beat the Baker County Wildcats.
We've heard that before. First down play, Union County. Going to line it up in a pro-style formation here. One receiver out to the right, one back in the backfield, blocking back in the slot. He's going to roll to his right. They hand the ball off to the running back, and he's got nowhere to go. The Wildcats clogged the middle of that defense. That was number 15 for the Cats in there, Chestnut on the tackle.
That's Chestnut. That's a name, Mike, we better memorize because you're going to call it a lot this year. One of the leading tacklers in the state of Florida last year, returning to that middle linebacker spot.
The quarterback for Union County is number 15, Trenton Klein. He's a junior. They split one receiver to the left. That's number 6, Bobo Waddell. And one back in the backfield, that's 31, Cole Austin. Second down play, second down and 10. Just underway from Memorial Stadium in McClenny, Florida. Excuse me, that's 7 in the backfield, Thomas Williams. Snap back, going to hand it off. No, the quarterback keeps it himself, fakes the handoff to Williams, and the quarterback straight ahead carry, and he's going to pick up 2 to make it third down and 8.
Another tackle by Seth Chestnut. That time a little read option play. Everybody went right, but Chestnut, he read it well. Met the quarterback right there in the hole, Mike.
Third down, call it 8. Wildcats on defense. We're starting the ball game. Kickoff Classic 2023. Two teams familiar with each other, although we don't typically play in the regular season. Third down, 8. Again, the quarterback is Klein. He's in the shotgun this time. One man in motion. Third down play. Klein calls for it. They're going to give it right up the middle. He's met in the backfield. The Wildcat defense all over Williams as he got the ball from the quarterback, and the Wildcats were there at the same time.
My goodness, Philip Jackson trying to do his best Jadavion Clowney impression as he blew that up at the miss point.
Number 9, Philip Jackson, and he was there. They were going to run a little read play with the quarterback riding the running back to the line of scrimmage and then decide whether to give it or not. But Philip Jackson made him make the decision early, and it's a huge loss back to the 19-yard line. Well, only 3 yards, but they gave him forward momentum, but 3 yards in the backfield. The Wildcats shut it down. It's 4th down and 11, and Union County going to punt it away. A high punt is going to be fielded by the Cats right around our 45-yard line. It'll be caught right there, and we'll take the ball there. First down and 10 from the 45-yard line. That was number 6 for the Wildcats, Mekhi Mosley, back there on the fair catch.
Wildcat offense looking a lot different this year. Mike had a lot of graduating seniors last year. Not a whole lot of snaps for this offensive line. I would venture to say that's kind of the question mark this year is can those guys get after it? Davion Dean comes back at quarterback, so gives you some playing time experience. Didn't play a whole lot of quarterback last year as Blake May stepped in and did a good job his senior year. So really looking to see what this Wildcat team's made of after a lot of starters moving on.
Offensive line digs in. The Wildcats will show 4 receivers set here, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Dean in the backfield. Sends one man in motion. That's Mosley. Davion Dean, a straight drop. He's under pressure, and Dean's going to get sacked on the first play of the game all the way back to the 34-yard line. They'll mark forward progress at the 37, and Davion Dean was under pressure from the time that he faked the handoff to Mosley on the sweep. Looking downfield to throw, we lost 10 yards.
Yeah, 10 yards. And, again, that's what we're talking about, Mike. This offensive line just trying to get right this year and figure it out. Guys playing in new positions. And Union County, my goodness, number 72, he's a man down there. Second
down and 20. Another man in motion this time, and they're going to keep it with Davion Dean up the middle. And Davion Dean gets all of the lost yardage on the sack back, plus 4. And he picks up about 14 out near midfield. And he was wanting to celebrate first down, but I think he forgot that they needed 20.
Little read option with number 1 there, Malachi Lewis, a kid that moved in here, transferred into us this year, so looking to contribute right away.
Third down, call it 6, just shy of midfield. Wildcats almost in 4-down territory to start the game. Davion Dean going to hand the ball off this time, straight ahead give, and not much room to run off the left tackle that time. It'll be 4th down and call it 5. That was number 7 on the carry, Jalen Wilcox.
Jalen Wilcox getting a chance here. Kanice Williams still out with injury from last year, lingering injury. And when you're trying to replace a guy named Cam Smith, I don't know that it can be done. You got a good stable of running backs this year, but Cam Smith was a special player.
Well, it is 4-down territory. The Cats will go for it. Davion Dean in the shotgun, and we're going to jump. We had a receiver take off way too early out there on the far side, and that's going to cause it to be a 4th down and 10, and we'll punt it instead.
That's one of the most frustrating penalties for a coach. You try to draw the defense off sides. Listen, you were in the huddle. You knew the play.
Well, we didn't have a lot of pregame here tonight, so we'll catch you up on everything you need to know about these two teams and the Wildcats 2023 season as we get set to bring you all the action one more time. Wildcats back there in punt formation, and very safe punt formation as the Wildcats punt it down there to around the 25-yard line. Doing the punting duties this year for the Cats, that was number 10, Brock Boatwright, and Brock Boatwright kicks it down to the 25-yard line or so. Just a little safety measures tonight on the kickoffs and the things like that. The guys are just basically fair catching, and it's an automatic deal. No rush on the punters. So they'll work all that stuff out, and next week we'll be live. So we'll head to Bradford County next week for a rematch of a third-round playoff game last year, Jackie, that we'll talk about much, much more as the night goes on. But, Jackie, here tonight on this field, two very similar teams. Union County went to the third round of the playoffs before being ousted last year, 9-3 on the season. A year ago, the Wildcats also third round of the playoffs. I just mentioned lost a close game to Bradford County. We'll talk about that. And 9-4 on the season. So these two teams very similar from a year ago. First down run this time, they handed off to number 31, and number 31 is Cole Austin, and he's going to pick up a few yards for the Tigers out to the right end.
Yeah, look like Dylan Ruiz and Case Foster out there. Case Foster, a kid at that outside linebacker spot, just a junior, Mike. So
what a year he had a year ago. I tell you, you talk about Chestnut a moment ago, number 15, Seth Chestnut. You talk about Foster. Those are a couple of guys that had huge years for that Cat football team last year, taking us to the third round. This time the quarterback's going to fake the give, coming around the left side, and the quarterback goes straight ahead, and he's going to get a first down. So for either team, that's the first down of the night with 7:10 to go here in the first quarter.
Yeah, and a lot of similar offense right now, just some read option things, trying to fill everything out. Like you said, these guys have been practicing all summer long, Mike, ready to hit somebody else besides their teammates, but little live-action football is different.
It definitely is. For us, too. You know, I haven't talked on the radio in a year, so give me a minute to get it all worked out. Trenton Klein, the quarterback, drops back to throw, and he's going to be under pressure, and he scrambles out of there, and the Wildcats should have had him in the backfield for a big loss and a sack, but he scrambles out and picks up 5 positive yards. So Union County making some things happen here on this second possession.
Oh, that was frustrating, too. He was looking to pass that time, and the Wildcats had great coverage there. Forced him to scramble out of there, and I was like you. I thought we had him in the backfield, able to escape.
All things aside, Jackie, I'm happy to be up here with you for another year of Wildcat football. We'll talk to folks about the schedule upcoming, some of our sponsors for this year as we get set to have a real first game next week, or a game that counts in the record. And tonight, we'll spend some time telling some stories at halftime, and we'll spend some time, Jackie, maybe into the third quarter, but then we'll cut it out of here a little bit early as we get ready to start the season in earnest next week, a week from tonight, over at Bradford High, the Bradford County Tornadoes. And we played them twice last year, Jackie. We played them in this game last year, which would have been the kickoff classic, and then or in the first week or two of the season, but it got shortened because of the weather. And then we ended up meeting again in the third round of the playoffs, and what a game that was.
Oh, man, what a shootout. One of the greater high school football games I've ever seen.
Third down, call it 4. Klein in the shotgun, sends a man in motion. That's Woodell. Going to hand it to the right side, and the running back's going to be upended at the 44-yard line. He's a yard short of where they needed to go. It'll be 4th down and 1. That was 31 on the carry, Cole Austin. And they're going to be a yard short, and we're going to get an official timeout for them to think about it here. We'll keep it here during the timeout. I want to thank John Meadows and Glen Baptist Church for making it possible to put Wildcat football back on the air, 97.5 FM WFBB. A lot of people asking us, Jackie, you know, why? What happened? You guys weren't going to come back this year. And I said, well, story for another night. But, you know, at the end of the day, Jackie, we want the radio broadcast of this football team to be something that Wildcat fans can hear for a long time. And I just wasn't comfortable with the fact that it was heading into the season this year looking like nobody was going to be able to do the radio. It looked like maybe there wouldn't be a ministry here through 97.5 FM, and we kind of talked to each other and agreed that we would make sure that the Wildcat football was brought to the masses on the air this year, you know. And we're going to do some things. We're going to train some new people and try to do things right this year, Jackie, and get somebody set up so that next year they can take this broadcast over. But in the meantime, there's some unfinished business, some stories that we haven't told, and we'll spend time this year having fun and fellowship and talk about all that stuff on the air.
I was just trying to be like Tom Brady and see if we could get our ratings up if we retired and came back.
4th down, going to give it to the fullback in the middle, and he's going to pick up the yard he needed plus 7 more, and he's going to get out across midfield. Union County in business with a 1st down and 10 at the Wildcat 48. And that was number 7, Thomas Williams, the first man through, and he gets the 1st down for Union.
Union County, this is kind of some old-school football here. I mean, they've given it to the fullback probably more tonight than I've seen all of last season. Anybody give it to the fullback, just trying to make a way up front, dominate that defensive line of the Wildcats.
1st down and 10 from the 48-yard line. They're just running power. Quarterback takes the toss back to the running back, and they're going to look deep for a receiver who was there. He had Deontay Jones wide open inside the 20-yard line. They had the Wildcat defense sucked in there. Jackie threw a deep pass right through the hands of Jones and falls incomplete. That would have been a touchdown.
Oh, my goodness. They had trips over here to the left, and he rolled out left, and the safety followed him all the way, just knowing it was going there. And the backside receiver ran a post right down the middle of the field. And you're right, Mike. They could have connected there. That was 6 points. So the Wildcat defense catches a break.
Well-thrown football by the quarterback. Receiver was there. Might have been a little bit outstretched in his arms. I don't know. I gotta believe he could have come down with that one. Second down, call it 10. Quarterback straight give this time. Waddell on the carry, and Waddell, coming from the receiver slot position, takes the handoff and is going to pick up 2. It'll be 3rd down and 8. I talked to Rock Roden on the field before the game, and I said, Rock, what are they going to run? And he said, Mike, they're going to run power. They're going to run power, and they're going to try to run it straight at us. And aside from a couple of plays where they've gone outside in that pass play, that's exactly what they've done tonight.
Yeah, they're not trying to fool you with a whole lot here. I mean, they're just handing it off and seeing, again, we talk about replacing players from last year's team and a new Wildcat team here. That's a pretty new defensive front down there. Again, a bunch of new guys, not a lot of snaps between them, so they're trying to find their own way on this Wildcat team.
3rd down and 8. Quarterback in the shotgun this time. Going to hand it off. No, he keeps it himself again. Just trying, maybe they're thinking 4-down territory here, try to get enough yardage to go for it on 4th down. He only picked up about 3, so it's going to bring up 4th down and 5. They've got the ball at the 42-yard line. They need to get it inside the 38 of the Cats, so close to 4 yards, but we'll call it 4.5.
The Cats probably have 15 to 20 tackles tonight, and Seth Chestnut may have 8% of those. My goodness.
That linebacker core looks like 15 in the middle, Seth Chestnut. Number 6 is Makai Mosley. He's to the left side. 30 is Case Foster. He's to the right side. Case Foster sneaks up to the line of scrimmage this time on 4th down. 4th down, looks to throw the ball. He's going to throw it right to the 1st down marker, but the receiver had to come back and get it. He's not going to get to the 1st down yard to gain. He's going to be 2 yards short because the pass didn't get him to the pylon.
Hey, listen, that's a great pass and a great catch if you're 2 yards on the other side of the 1st down marker, but on this side, you just gave the ball back to the Wildcats.
Well, and they tell the receiver in that situation, make sure you get to the 1st down marker. Well, he did, but he had to dive back to get the pass, so they just weren't quite on the same page there, and the Wildcat defense is going to force a turnover. Fast-moving first quarter here as we get a little bit of a breeze coming through the press box, Jackie. It was only 120 earlier. That might have brought us down to 112. Davion Dean, second time on the field. Now the Wildcats send a man in motion. 1st down and 10 from the 40-yard line. Dean takes the snap, going to give it straight ahead. Wildcats running the football behind number 2. I'm sorry. I said 2, but it's 2-5. As I was thinking about Davion Dean. Benny Lewis on the carry. You mentioned his brother Malachi Lewis a moment ago. And Benny Lewis picks up 8 tough yards out to the 47-yard line. Again, handoff to Lewis, and Lewis is going to be corralled this time right at the line. May have picked up half a yard, but it's going to be 3rd and 2 for the Cats. They were trying to snap it quick there, Jackie, catch them off guard and get the 1st down.
Yeah, Benny Lewis, again, like you said, another transfer into Baker County here. We don't get a whole lot of those, so for those 2 brothers to come and contribute immediately on this starting offense was a blessing for this Wildcat team. And Benny Lewis, the kid you saw on the previous carry, pretty tough to bring down.
3rd down and 2. Now Dean in the shotgun. Dean's going to throw it, and he almost had it picked off as Williams was spying that play at the linebacker position, and that pass would have gone the other way for a pick 6, but falls incomplete. It'll be 4th down. 4th down. 4th and 2.
Yeah, that time you see these guys again. You're getting into live action a little bit, and just may want to look that linebacker off next time.
He was there, wasn't he? That's what the Kickoff Classic or the Jamboree, whatever you want to call this game, that's what these games are for, Jackie. They can look at that play on film and see what not to do for next week. But the Wildcats will punt it away again. Brock Boatwright comes back to the field, running a guy on late here, 4th down and 2. They snap it back to Boatwright. Boatwright's going to kick it, and it's going to be a high end-over-end kick that's going to come over here to the 30-yard line, and that's where they'll take it 1st down and 10 from the 30. 2:22 to go first quarter. We're going to keep it right here, Jackie. I just want to say this. So next week will be the first regular season game of the year. We'll have everything official. We wanted to make sure we did kind of a radio station test run tonight, so to speak. But as we get closer to the halftime, we'll talk about dependable heating and air conditioning. We'll talk about Farm Bureau of Baker County, all those guys that make it possible for Wildcat football to be broadcast on the radio, and I'm going to tell you at that time who all our sponsors are for this year, and next year you'll be able to hear their commercials, and you'll hear some of them tonight as we're wrapping up, getting everything ready for the season, and we'll have that all ready to go next year. But I tell you what, Wildcat football wouldn't be anything without the support of the community that we get, Jackie.
Yeah, no doubt, Mike. I spent, probably 2 hours yesterday and about an hour today hanging these banners around the field of all these business sponsors. And so you can just see the support and what this Wildcat football team means to this community. So we thank all of those folks.
Absolutely, and we'll talk about some of those select ones in a moment. Handoff straight up the middle. The Wildcats again crashed the line of scrimmage. Phillip Jackson in there, first man through on Thomas Williams, the running back. And I tell you, Jackson's having a good night as well, along with Seth Chestnut.
Yeah, Phillip Jackson going to give it a little extra tonight. He transferred in from Union County a couple years ago. So
that's right.
And been a great asset to this Wildcat team.
Yeah, he had a good year last year. Second down and 5. The quarterback again for Union County, number 15, is Trenton Klein. Klein looks to the sidelines. He's got Thomas Williams, number 7, in the backfield with him. They split out 3 receivers to the right side this time. Klein takes the snap, going to give it to Williams, coming to the left side. The Wildcats were fooled. They were thinking pass play that time. With the 3 receivers set to the right, they run the ball back to the left, and Williams picks up the first down.
Yep, thought everything was going right that time, and you called it. Wildcats just didn't see it coming. Running back able to get outside. You got to have contain, Mike.
That's what I used to do with my flag football team, though, Jackie. I would send everybody to the right, make them think that's where we were going, and we'd come right back to the left. But we lost yardage.
I've been there, too.
I'm just kidding. One year I had Hudson Johnson and Dayton Smith in the backfield, and we never got tackled. I don't think we lost a game. First down and 10 from the 43-yard line. Klein's going to send a man in motion. Toss sweep out to the right side. He's got some room to run. He's across the 45, across midfield. An 8-yard gain for number 8. That's Nick Williams. As Union County's now used about 4 different guys on their running plays, and they've gotten some yardage, but second down and 2, but they crossed midfield again. Second time they've crossed midfield here in the first quarter, but no score on the scoreboard. 1:20 to go here early on the 2023 Baker County Wildcat football season.
Yeah, Union's going up the middle, and now having some success here on the outside.
Second down play, Klein under center this time. High formation. 2 backs in the backfield. They send 1 receiver all the way to the other side of the field and now call timeout. They didn't like that setup on second down and 2. Timeout with 53 seconds to go in the first quarter. John Meadows, after this quarter, I'll give it to you for a few of those commercials. But right now, Jackie and I will just keep it here until the end of the first quarter. Baker County Wildcat football can be heard right here on 97.5 WFBB throughout this season. Glen Baptist Church, the ministry where this broadcast is originating from. And I'll tell you, Jackie, there's a few ways that you can listen to the ball game. You can go right there on Facebook to 97.5 WFBB, the Facebook page. You can listen there. There's a link to listen in live. There's also a YouTube channel for 97.5 WFBB. And if you're also driving around in the McClenny area, right around Baker County, inside the city limits here, you can put your radio dial on 97.5 FM and hear the game that way. So we've shared all those ways on Facebook across the way, so share that with your friends and neighbors so they know each week how to listen to Wildcat football. And once we get the TuneIn app back up and running, we'll let people know that that's an option too. Second down play to the left side. They're going to toss sweep out here this time, and the Wildcats cover it up well. The Wildcats, Davion Dean, along with Seth Chestnut out here to make the tackle. It's going to bring up a third down and 5.
At number 21 out there, Hudson Register, another young guy that's going to get a lot of playing time this year. Good pursuit there.
That was a big loss on the play by the Wildcats as they strung that play out to the left side. It'll be third and 5. Hudson Register, number 21, was there, along with the guys I mentioned a moment ago. Seth Chestnut was there. Davion Dean was there. Third down and 5, so after the loss, they'll have to think about it. Hudson Register is my nephew, Jackie. Don't know if you knew that or not. Third down and 5. Klein rolling to his left. He's going to get hit in the backfield, and just like that, Hudson Register and Philip Jackson are going to combine on the quarterback sack. So Jackson stopped him, and Register comes and cleans him up.
Oh, man, I thought your nephew was about to pile drive him. My goodness. Hudson Register with great pursuit from the backside there and able to get home to the quarterback. What a great play.
Yeah, a lot of people may not realize that. Register's a different last name. My last name's Cruz. His is Register, but his dad is my stepbrother. So there you go, Jackie. That is my nephew out there. Hudson, I've known him since he was a baby. Getting a chance out there and making good on it that time. He was back there along with Philip Jackson. A good job pursuit that time, and Union County's going to have to punt. So after the first quarter, Jackie, what do you think here? That was the first quarter. We're going to send it back down to John Meadows over at Glen Baptist, and he can take a 2-minute timeout here. We'll come back with the second quarter and talk more Wildcat football. You're listening to 2023 Baker County Wildcat football right here on WFBB 97.5 FM.
You're listening to Wildcat Football on 97.5 FM WFBB. This radio station is a ministry of Glen Baptist Church in Glen St. Mary, Florida. We're blessed to air Baker County Wildcat Football live each week, and it's our hope that you enjoy the program. We know that life is busy, work, school, football, running errands around, but in the midst of the busyness, we all need a church home that brings the stability upon which you can build your life. If you're looking for a church home where you can grow in Christ and community, we would love to invite you to worship with us every Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. Check us out on our website at glenbaptist.org or on Facebook, where you can access church info and content and even watch worship services. At Glen, you get dynamic music, gospel-centered expository preaching, and a wonderful faith community. Come grow with us.
Have you ever thought about cleaning out your garage or wonder what you need to do with all those aluminum cans or scrap metal you've got laying around in the backyard? Well, look no further. You just need to load it up and head to American Recycling. Tim Hughes owns and operates American Recycling on Woodlawn Road in McClenny, Florida. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and on the second and fourth Saturdays of every month from 9 a.m. to noon. Stop by and see Tim and maybe even cash in on that stuff you've got laying around. Tim and American Recycling say, go Wildcat. Baker County Farm Bureau wants to wish the Baker County Wildcats much success this football season. Baker County Farm Bureau, specializing in auto insurance, homeowners insurance, along with life insurance. To get started with Farm Bureau, contact Jack Baker or Justin Webb at 259-6332. That's 259-6332.
Well, we start the second quarter here. The Wildcats get the football back, and we take a little commercial there. Thanks to John Meadows for running those commercial timeouts. The Wildcats right here at Memorial Stadium to start the season off, kickoff classic against Union County. Unfortunately, right now, Wildcats can't do much on the offensive side of the ball. That time they try to throw the football 3 times, Jackie. And Thomas Williams is going to pick one off before the night's over. That linebacker spying it on third down there. I thought he had it. And the Wildcats have to punt it away again. This time, instead of Boatwright, Davion Dean goes back there and kicks one away. They're going to fair catch it right here around the 42, 43-yard line, call it the 45. Union County has been in Wildcat territory a couple of times here tonight. They're going to get the football back here, Jackie, to start the second quarter. And so far, so good. Wildcat defense looking sharp here. The offense lagging a little behind so far.
Yeah, the defense playing really well, Mike. I mean, a couple times we thought Union County had something going on offense, that after about 2 or 3 successful plays, that defense decided no more. Kind of bowed their back a little bit, and Hudson Register with back-to-back great plays in the backfield, pushed them back into their own territory. So so far, I would say I'd give the edge to the Wildcat defense on performance tonight.
Yeah, just early on. And the defense is always going to be ahead of the offense. That's the way it works. And you'll hear teams next week when college football kicks off, you'll hear people saying that on the air as well. You know, the defense is always going to be a little bit ahead of the offense, and that's just the way it works. So that's why you have this first week to kind of work through some things, and the Wildcats will definitely see some things on film that they need to work through. Mainly blocking and reading some of these receivers and some of the routes. I think that'll be something they'll work on this week.
And if I'm the defensive coordinator, I go, you know what? You guys just play that chestnut. Make all the tackles. And he was in on that last play for a 1-yard loss.
1-yard loss for Union County. They put it at the 44-yard line. Second down, call it 11. Flying in the backfield, left-handed quarterback. Wears number 15. Rolling to his left. Hudson Register is back there, and we get a hit on the quarterback. Hudson Register got picked up just before he hit him, and Tucker Thrift got in there and put a hit on the quarterback, and it falls incomplete. It'll be third down 11.
Wildcat defense had their own shot at an interception that time, thanks to the pressure up front. That D-line, again, I kind of put a question mark around them early on, but so far, there's pressure coming from both sides of that Wildcat front.
Third down, call it 11. 10:19 to go here in the first half. Really like to see something happen. You know, last year when we saw these two teams square off with each other, Jackie, it was the same thing. The offenses didn't do much. I think it was a 10-7 first half, if I remember correctly. Third down play, you're going to get a timeout from the Union County sideline here. They're going to think about it for a minute. Jackie, we'll do a lot of this year. I tell you what, I'm excited. I'm excited to be back up here with you. You know, there was a couple of things that we talked about in the off season, just some unfinished business that we wanted to get on here and talk about this year, and some of these guys that we wanted to see play another football season with this Wildcat football team. So I'm happy to be back up here with you again. We're going to do some things maybe out of the ordinary this year. We'll have some other guys that will be with us throughout the season that we're going to be helping learn this radio system, just so that Jackie and I aren't the only people in the world that know how to do it, you know, so we can have some backup and relief in the future. But I'll tell you this, Jackie, just real quick in terms of shout-outs, one of my cousins is listening in tonight. I got to give him a shout-out, and I'll tell you why, because he's an electrician, Jackie, and the last 2, maybe 3 weeks I've had this crazy plug in my kitchen that's like one of those GFI outlets, and every time I run my air fryer, the thing just conks out, you know. So I called him over one time. He fixed it. I'll tell you the rest after this play. Third down 11. Third down 11, the quarterback Klein in the shotgun. Takes the snap, and the play was busted by the Wildcats up front. The fumble's on the ground, and it's going to be picked up by the Cats. Running the other way is Cale Cruz. And Cale Cruz is going to take it all the way inside the 10 and down to the 5-yard line. The fumble was returned by the Cats, but there's a flag behind the play. We'll have to check it.
I think they're going to get a block in the back. I think it's going to stand. Phillip Jackson, again, just blew it up at the mesh point, Mike. That chestnut knocked it out again, and Cale Cruz scoops it up and scampers down inside the 5.
The play was busted from the beginning. It almost looked like the quarterback turned the wrong way and the running back wasn't on the same page, but I think they designed it that way, a little bit of trickeration, but the Wildcats blew it up from the beginning. The fumble on the ground, the Wildcats are going to get called for holding on the return, and so the return is going to be, instead of being at the 5-yard line, all the way back out to the 20, but it'll be first down and 10 from the 20-yard line.
What a great play. That's a lot. 3 or 4 Wildcat defenders in on that play to make it happen. Cale Cruz showing the speed.
I thought he was taking it all the way. First down, Davion Dean in the shotgun. 2 backs with him. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. First down play, going to hand it off straight ahead. Wildcats running it to the left side. There's a hole, 10-5, and a Wildcat touchdown. The first touchdown of the year for number 25, Benny Lewis. And he bounced it outside, Jackie. The hole wasn't there to start the play. And Lewis bounces it outside, 20-yard touchdown run. The Cats on the board.
What a great run by Benny Lewis. And I'll tell you what, Mike, we were able to go down. I was fortunate enough to go down with them to camp at Southeastern University. And one of the things they were harping on Benny Lewis was have some patience. Let it get there. And that time it paid off. A little patience. He saw the hole, bounced it outside, and the first touchdown of the Wildcat season.
Boatwright in there, number 10, the guy we were talking about punting earlier, Brock Boatwright. The snap is back. The set down is good, and Boatwright is going to kick it straight through there, and that's a good extra point. Hudson registers the holder on the extra point, and Boatwright gets it at 7-0. Wildcats on top after the turnover, and that's one way a close game can get decided. Turnovers in big games, and Wildcats get the first one, and they turn it into points. Benny Lewis, first touchdown for the Wildcats. Jack, I got to finish my story real quick. That plug, that GFI outlet's been killing me. Twice, my cousin comes over there, he fixes it the first time. I ran that air fryer again the other day because, hey, my kids, they want to, they help me. I get on some of the stuff, it goes in the air fryer, we cook it up. Well, the other day, and I have one of those fancy GFI plugs now. It's got a light on it, It's either a green light or a red light. Well, the other day I come in there, there's no light on at all. I'm like, what's going on? So it's tripped again. So anyway, he comes back over this week. My cousin Landon Cruz, I got to give him a shout-out. And he's made a couple of trips over there out of his way, and I appreciate the work that he does. He's an electrician by trade. He told me that his friend of his, Mike Richardson, taught him everything that he knows about electricity. But knock on wood, Jackie, my plug's working right now because I was able to run the air fryer today.
I got the same problem on microwave. I may need to call him.
There you go. Landon, talk to Jackie. He's got a microwave issue. Yeah, so you were taking notes during that whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time I push the popcorn button, it trips the breaker.
What kind of popcorn is it?
Extra butter. I don't eat out of the air fryer, I can tell you. Kelly Cruz made sure to remind me of it today when he said I was eating healthy. That's just a nice way of saying you're getting big, man.
Eating healthy.
Yeah.
Landon, hope you enjoyed that. 9:55 to go into the first half. Landon's the son of my cousin Eric Cruz, who you know. Eric lives over there in Bryceville. He listens in every week. He's got that Godfather's Pizza tonight. He sent me a picture, said he's got the Godfather from the Love truck stop over there listening to Wildcat football. Here we go. First down and 10 from the 20-yard line. Wildcats up 7-0 now. They're going to hand it to Williams. The first man through. The Wildcat defense has him corralled. Maybe a gain of a yard. The Cats all over that play, trying to run that power. They got a big offensive line. I would try to run behind that big offensive line too, but that Cat defense has been up to the challenge tonight.
I tell you, they're trying to run right down the throat of that Wildcat defense, and they're not having it, Mike. Any success Union County's had has been on the outside.
It has, and I'm sure they're going to go back to that, but like Rock Roden was telling me earlier, they're trying to run that power.
Well, you got to figure it out. If that's what you're going to run, if that's what you practice all summer long, got to figure out what the problem is.
Second down nine. One receiver to the right. They send a man in motion here. Klein's going to give it off, running a little misdirection behind the play that time. He's going to pick up about 2, maybe 3 yards. That was number 23 on the carry, Ashton Newsom. And it's going to bring up third down and a long 7.
Yeah, that was the play they were trying to run a minute ago that we caused them to fumble on a little fake pitch, and then he tries to give it to the running back underneath, and the Wildcats are having none of it. I would say that was more successful than last time because Union County kept the ball.
Yeah. Third down, 7, 8.5 to go here, first half. Wildcats on top, 7-0. Union County brought a lot of folks with them across the way, Jackie, and I tell you, everybody in this place right now has got a fan. You can see them all waving that fan in front of their face. Maybe one of the hottest summers I can remember in some time. It's just been stagnant this year. Handoff this time coming to the left side, and the Wildcats are going to corral him about 2 yards short of the first down. That was number 8 on the carry, Eric Seeger, for the Tigers, and they're going to have to punt it away on 4th down and 2.
Yeah, Union County, one of those places, like you said, we don't play them a whole lot in the regular season. So when you get the chance for one of your neighbors, a lot of kinfolk back and forth in those two counties, a lot of friends. So you think they want to come over here and beat these Baker County Wildcats at their place? You daggone right they do. Kickoff Classic or not.
Jackie, I got a question for you. For the past several years, in high school football, a lot of teams you'll see you'll see the tents on the sideline with the TVs underneath them where their teams can go and see the replays. And, the technology has caught up, from what you see in college to high school now. Basically every team has it nowadays. But, Jack, I got to ask you, I haven't seen it before where the teams have the team name on the tent. Where can we get those at? Union County's got a beautiful purple tent over there with Union County Tigers written on it. And this Wildcat tent is an Under Armour tent logoed out with Baker County Wildcats on the side. Who can get us one of those? Those are nice.
We need to talk to our friend George Gerardo, Baker County Baker Sporting Goods.
There you go.
Looking out for the community for all your jerseys and sporting good needs.
I mean, when I go over to Kingsley Lake, I'd like to have one of those. So you can represent. Davion Dean takes the snap, a high snap, tries to hand it off here, running straight up the middle. That was number 1, Malachi Lewis on the carry. His brother Benny scored a touchdown for the Cats on the last possession. I got to tell you, though, man, you'd be the king of the tailgate if you had one of these Baker County Wildcat tents with the Under Armour on there. That's nice. George Gerardo, if you're listening, give me a call. You talk. 3 receivers for the Wildcats set out to the left, 1 to the right. Davion Dean in the shotgun. Second down play, going to swing it out to the left side. The catch was not made, and it's an incomplete pass. Trying to get it over here to Malachi Lewis and just get some blocks downfield for him, but the first thing you've got to do is catch the football before you can run with it.
No doubt. I'd like to see that ball get out a little quicker, too. About the second they see that, you don't have long before the defense realizes what's going on. And that time, had he even caught the ball, I don't know that he goes anywhere.
I got to tell you, the Wildcats on top right now, 7-0. Defense has played lights out. Aside from that 20-yard Benny Lewis touchdown run, though, Jackie, the Wildcat offense has struggled. So the Wildcat offense is going to have to take some of this video back to the practice field this week and see what we can get done. 3rd down and 10. Davion Dean, straight drop. Now he's going to scramble. He runs it back to the line of scrimmage and maybe a yard extra before he runs out of bounds. Everybody was covered downfield. It'll be 4th down, and the Cats will punt it back to the Tigers.
And that time, that was a middle screen. He was waiting on one of his receivers to come behind the lineman, and nobody ever showed up. So Davion Dean, lucky to scramble for his life, and tried to make something out of nothing there.
Looking ahead for the Wildcats, road games next couple of weeks before we come back home.
Bunch of them.
We'll start the season on the road next week, Jackie, at Lake Butler. No, I'm sorry. We're playing Lake Butler tonight at Bradford. We'll head over there to that turf field they've got down there in downtown Bradford, and it'll be a rematch of that 3rd-round playoff from a year ago. What a game that was, Jackie. We went down to the wire with Jamie Rogers. Jamie Rogers, the former Wildcat head coach here, Baker County Wildcat through and through. Took the Wildcats to the state championship game in 2017. And Coach Rogers has that Tornado team playing well. He told me they played, I can't remember who, Hamilton County last night, maybe somebody. Chiefland, there you go. And they said they looked good. Coach Rogers here in attendance tonight. Jackie doing a little scouting for that game. So we're looking forward to that next week.
Should be a good one.
I hope so. Last year's game came down to the 4th quarter. Wildcats led the entire 1st quarter. Bradford opened up in the second half. If you recall, they ran the opening kickoff of the second half back. We thought it was going to be a game the Wildcats were going to win and move on to the 4th round of the playoffs, Final Four, or maybe, we would have been Final Four at that point in time. Just wasn't to be that night. But what a game. They hit a 4th down play, if you recall. They hit a 4th down play, something that a Jamie Rogers coach team hardly ever does, is throw to that tight end, and they caught that tight end coming out of 4th and 1, and he scored a touchdown on the play, if you remember, and that was the backbreaker. What a game. So the Wildcats go to the 3rd round last year, ended up 9-4. Coach Mays has had his share of success in the state playoffs as the Wildcat head coach and looking to do some good things again this year. And I tell you, this defense looks up to the challenge.
Yeah, I felt like the offense was really good last year, and the defense struggled at times. But I'm going to tell you, tonight, they got it figured out on the defensive side, Mike. Nothing really doing for Union County on offense, but this Wildcat offense struggling in every aspect of the game at this point. Had a little success with Benny Lewis on one big play, but that was set up after a defensive turnover. by that Wildcat team. So trying to figure it out. You can see them over here on the sideline. You talked about all the replay equipment. Just trying to figure out the last play there on third down. The receiver didn't run the right route. So all these guys worked all summer long. Now it's time to put it on the field.
Well, Jackie, if you look down the schedule for the Cats, we open up here in McClenny or in Baker County for this first ball game for Kickoff Classic. And then the next 4 weeks on the road, we'll talk about that in just a moment. Klein takes the snap. He's going to run the option to the left side, tosses at the last possible moment out there, and the Wildcats do a great job of covering that up and force a third down coming up.
Yeah, that was a little triple option there, and the Wildcats covered it perfectly.
Cale Cruz with the tackle. Jackie will go to Bradford next week. The week after that, on September 1st, we'll travel to Oakleaf. So between those two trips, not very far, but two formidable opponents as we'll play Bradford and Oakleaf back-to-back weeks. And then we're going to go participate in that Baker Sporting Goods Brunswick event that we did last year again. And so on Thursday night, which will be September 7th, we'll play Glen Academy up in Brunswick. That's one to keep your eye on, and then we'll come back to Baldwin the following week. So the next 4 weeks, Bradford, Oakleaf, Glen Academy, and Brunswick, and then Baldwin. Klein rolls to his left side. He's under heavy pressure by Case Foster. The Wildcats are going to get a pass interference out here, and the receiver catches the ball anyway. The receiver had all kind of Wildcat coverage down there with him around the 42-yard line, but he comes down with it, and we had interference because we were there way before the pass. But a good throw by Klein, and they're going to have a first down in Wildcat territory.
Yeah, and that time again, there was a Wildcat defensive lineman in the backfield, tried to jump up, and the quarterback just sidestepped him.
That was Foster. Foster was there, left his feet. Klein sidesteps and throws it down the field. Going to use the Klein. They'll take the play. 45-yard line is where they'll put it in play now. First down and 10 for the Wildcat defense. That's the first real big play we've given up. And we had good coverage on the quarterback.
I was going to say we had good coverage and just happened to cover a little too long.
First down play coming up for Union County. So, again, if you haven't looked at the schedule, next week at Bradford, the following week at Oakleaf, and then a Thursday night game in Brunswick, and then at Baldwin before we come back home. So first down play is going to be straight up the middle, and the running back this time has a hole. So Union County found some momentum here. They hand the ball to Cole Austin, and Cole Austin is down to the 31-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 from there.
Little jawing after the play that time. I'm going to send a couple players.
Yeah, there was some of that jawing. After the pass play was complete a moment ago too, and I'm not sure if it was us jawing or if it was Union County jawing. But either way, we don't want that to start already this year. 4:44 to go, second quarter. The Wildcats, Union County is going to take a timeout. 7-0 ball game. Remind the folks you can catch us here on 97.5 WFBB. But John Meadows, let's take a 30-second timeout. Let's take a 30-second timeout, and we'll come back and we'll talk about some of these sponsors and leading into the halftime show. And you're listening to Wildcat Football on WFBB.
Hey, Baker County, it's Sheriff Scotty Roden here, wishing our football team a safe and exciting Wildcat football season. As a 1989 Wildcat football player, I know for sure that once a Wildcat, always a Wildcat. And we all know there's nothing better than Friday Night Lights at Memorial Stadium. Please join the Baker County Sheriff's Office as we all scream, "Go Wildcats!"
First down and 10 now, Union County. They trail the Wildcats 7-0. 4:44 to go here in the second quarter. Quarterback Klein is under center this time. Full house backfield here. They're going to hand it off to Thomas Williams, and Thomas Williams is going to dive straight ahead, just a fullback dive down to the 26-yard line, and he's going to pick up 5 yards on that dive play.
Hey, I'm going to tell you what, that offense will do. it'll grind you out when it's as on as it is right now. I mean, nothing doing here the first quarter and a half, but here we are with 4:30 left in the second quarter. You can see some hands on some hips of that Wildcat defense.
For sure, and probably a ton of sweat. 4:24 to go. 7-0 Cats trying to hang on to that lead, trying to get it to halftime. Klein takes a snap, going to give it to Williams again. Williams runs to the right side of the line this time, and the Cats blow that up on the right side of the line, and he stopped for no gain. It's going to be third down, and again, Chestnut's there.
Yeah. Chestnut comes up limping a little bit. Want to make sure you keep him healthy again. Maybe just a little cramp trying to stretch it out.
Well, you think about it, Jackie, most likely not an injury in this early in the season. Them guys are going to have some cramps. Need that pickle juice, that Powerade, get them guys, tell you, early with the heat the way that it is. It's tough. It's tough on these guys. It always is for the first week, maybe first 3 to 4 weeks of the season. Third down play, they're going to run it left side, and the Union County running back has got a hole inside the 20, and he's going to get a first down. This time they come back to Diston, and Diston runs to the left side, and they've got a first down against the Wildcats, and maybe a flag is going to move them back. A big, high, unsportsmanlike flag just came in there, and it just depends on who they called it on. I think they called it on the Union County guys down there celebrating the first down, Jack.
Yeah, looked like 3 of their guys lingering on our side of the football after that play. And like you said, being the kickoff classic, I love nothing more than these referees just start throwing all kinds of flags. But oh, that was some huff.
Now they waved the flag off. There must not have been as much talking down there as they thought. Jackie, I went into the Cat House a while ago before the game. You know, the Cat House down here where the Wildcats warm up. And speaking of electricity, you know, Oscar Gray and the folks down there at Dependable Heating and Air, they put in a new air conditioning unit in that Cat House a while ago. And I got to tell you, man, I wanted to just stay down there. It was cool.
Yeah, man, that was a great job. Our friends in the maintenance department, Craig Jones, Chris Chisholm, Mr. Denny Wells, those guys do a great job for us. Great job. And Craig and I talked, and he said, Jackie said, we got this unit waiting. He said, but I'll be honest, we just don't have time to put it in. Do you think you could step up and get somebody in there? And Oscar Gray, without hesitation, went down there and got it put in for us. So
how about that?
Thank Craig and Oscar Gray and all those guys for making it possible to try to beat this heat in the Cat House.
There you go, man. I tell you, makes a big difference when you walk in and that air conditioning's blowing like it is. So the Cats are just a couple of minutes away from getting to go down there and experience some of that air conditioning. But Union County sitting here now, first down and goal at the 7-yard line of the Cats. And the way this defensive play has played in the first quarter or first half, you'd really think that they'd like to preserve this shutout. Handoff to Thomas Williams straight ahead, and Williams is going to barrel his way down to the 3-yard line. So now second down and goal inside the 5. Dean, Cale Cruz. Davion Dean, Cale Cruz. Wildcats going to call a timeout here. 2:29 to go in the first half. But Jackie, what do you think? You know, we talked about this Wildcat football team. What do you think about four straight weeks on the road to open the season up?
My goodness. I don't know that that's the schedule you asked for if you're Coach Mays, but that's what you're dealt. Given the opportunity to go back to that game in Brunswick, you know, he said he let the team kind of decide that one because at the end of the day, it's all about the players, and Coach Mays knows that. And so he said, would you guys rather play at home or you want to go back to that nice stadium and play against somebody we may not see? And the kids were eager to get back to Brunswick and play in the Border Wars and represent Florida in the little tournament that Baker Sporting Goods puts on. So we kind of lost a home game, if you will. Yeah. That normally would have been a home game. So, you know, 4 games on the road is definitely going to test this Wildcat team. But when you got 4 on the road, the only good thing is you got to turn around and you do got some home games coming at the end of the season.
Well, you heard Sheriff Scotty Roden there during the break, and he said once a Wildcat, always a Wildcat. Appreciate that message from Sheriff Scotty Roden. Tailored Healthcare is along with us again tonight, or this year, Robbie Lancaster and those guys. My buddy Tim Hughes over at American Recycling. Got a couple of new sponsors this year, Chris Harvey and Harvey Pest Management. We'll talk about all these folks in just a moment. But second down and goal now Lake Butler hands it to Thomas Williams again, and this time the Cats hit him at the 1-yard line, but he's going to fight his way into the end zone. And Union County, after a quarter and almost another full quarter, finally find the end zone to make it 7-6.
And that time, number 7 for Union County, chopping us down bit by bit, 2 and 3 yards at the time, and he was not going to be denied. And we talked about it. That's the type of offense that'll just wear that Wildcat defensive front down, and Union County did it.
Now we'll see if they're going to try to go for the 2 here to take the lead going into halftime, which is what they're going to do. Klein looks to the sideline. They get the play call in. Wildcats on defense here as Union County going to try to go for 2. A 7-6 ball game right now. But like you talked about, Jackie, those bragging rights, you know, we beat Baker County 8-7 in the first half of that first game. They're going to run Thomas Williams again straight ahead, and the Wildcat defensive line says, no, sir, and we're going to push them back, and their 2-point conversion is going to be no good. The Cats stop them on the 2-point conversion, and the 7-6 score will be preserved here with 2:21 to go in the first half. And now we've got more talking going on. A lot of chirping going on down there, Jack.
Yeah, and if I'm Coach Mays, I'm telling these guys, you get kicked out of this game, it doesn't mean anything. I guarantee you're going to be handed a suspension for a game next week that we need everybody healthy and everybody ready to go for.
Well, Jackie, I was taking a moment just a second ago to kind of name off some of these sponsors because next week, like I said in our first game, we'll have all the commercials running and everything up to snuff, but we're getting ready this week. And the Baker Hospital Services here in town, Ed Frazier Hospital on board as a sponsor this year. Ferreira Funeral Home, my friend Todd Ferreira down there back on board. He's a Wildcat fan, has been for a long time. Dual State Real Estate, Sabrina threw up those guys. Robbie Foster, Foster's contracting. We talked about his son, Case Foster, out there with these Wildcats. Larry Birkins and Birkins Chevrolet. What would he say about right now, Jackie?
Just come on.
Just come on. Jack Baker and the folks down at Farm Bureau, and we just talked about Oscar Gray and Dependable Heating and Air Conditioning along with Chris Harvey, Harvey Pest Management, American Recycling, my buddy Tim Hughes, Tailored Healthcare, Robbie Lancaster down there, and Scotty Roden. Sheriff Scotty Roden. We got together the other day so Scotty could record his commercial, and you know what we talked about, Jackie? You think a couple guys get together and talk, you know what we talked about? Reading glasses. Once you get
Or about that age.
once you get over 50, Jack, guess what? Reading glasses. You don't have any, do you?
Nah, I don't need reading glasses quite yet. my hairline's going first. Hairline before my vision.
I got a hairline issue too, but the reading glasses are what make you feel like really an old man, I got to tell you.
Well, you know, speaking of hairlines,
yeah,
our buddy Trav Barton, he texted us this morning. He was so thankful that we were going to be back on the air. He said he'd give us a free haircut. Well, he must have known that those take about 5 minutes these days. Not too much out of his time to offer that to us.
He just cut my hair not too long ago, so he knows good and well that he's getting a deal on that because he knew we'd say his name on the radio. There you go. First down and 10, Davion Dean in the shotgun here. Cats on top, 7-6 in the kickoff classic of 2023. Benny Lewis going to get this carry. He had a 20-yard touchdown run earlier, and he gets a first down run here out across the 30 to the 31-yard line.
Yeah. Benny Lewis, a high motor guy too, Mike. You saw him pop right up and hand that ball off, and he's ready to get back after it. Brings a good energy to this Wildcat team.
First down play, first down and 10 from the 31-yard line. Mekhi Mosley goes in motion. Davion Dean takes the snap, going to keep it himself, run an option to the left, and Davion Dean keeps it and gets out to the 34-yard line. Faked the handoff inside to Lewis. He tried to run option to the left side and maybe got 3.
Just protect the football on that play. Did a good job as soon as he was going to get hit. Tucking that football away. Seeing Mekhi Mosley out there trying to run the option. With a minute 30, we got to go.
Gotta hurry. They're still looking to the sideline, looking for the play. Play clock's in good shape, but the game clock's not. Second down play, Davion Dean He's going to scramble out of there. Davion tries to make a man miss. Runs to the right side. Davion's going to be hit and dropped, and after all that, only about a yard gain on the play, and Union County going to force the Wildcats into a third down.
Yeah, Davion Dean tried to step up in the pocket that time. Nothing doing. Tries to scramble out of there, and like you said, ran 20 yards for no gain.
Timeout by the Tigers here.
Third and about 6 coming up here. 55 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Union County calls the timeout, thinking they're going to get the ball back scored before halftime, Mike.
Yeah, I think Union County, with the way these guys have been chirping back and forth, I think that's exactly what they want to do. They want to call timeout here, make the Wildcats punt, try to score within a minute to go. Most of the time in these kickoff classic games, you see the varsity for about a half. Sometimes, depending on what the coaches want to see during the night, sometimes they'll bring some of the varsity guys back out for the second half, or sometimes they'll just tell them, take those pads off, we're going to let the JV guys go. So we'll see which direction the coaches go here at halftime tonight. Jackie and I are not going to be here for the entire game. We'll just go ahead and tell you that. I've told you this is kind of like our dress rehearsal for the season, but we will be with you every week from here on out. 2023 Baker County Wildcat football on 97.5 WFBB. Davion Dean on third down, looking to throw. He's looking down deep. He's got a man open down there, and a catch is made. Makai Mosley catches it at the 20-yard line. Makai Mosley, 15, 10, 5, and a touchdown. And now a flag comes down behind the play. Got to be some sort of celebration here because the touchdown had already occurred.
It's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct, I'm sure, but what a great ball that time by Davion Dean to Makai Mosley. Davion Dean able to hang on to it for just a second. Makai Mosley beats his man over the top.
They get an unsportsmanlike against the Wildcats after the play there. I tell you, Jack, the whole game we've been looking for Davion and the scramble and the good throw down the field. And that time, what a bullet that he threw on a rope down there to Makai Mosley. Touchdown's going to count. They'll probably enforce the unsportsmanlike on the kickoff, I would think, because Union County still wants to try and go at least tie this game, right? Yeah, they're going to enforce it on the kickoff. So 44 seconds still left here in the half, but what a nice throw and catch that time from Davion Dean to Makai Mosley.
Yeah, Makai Mosley, one of those seniors on the team this year. Not a whole lot of them out there, but a guy that's going to contribute heavily, and Coach May's going to lean on him to kind of lead that receiving corps this year.
68 yards in the air, that play. Well, through the air, 68 yards. The pass was probably 40 yards or so in the air. Boatwright's got the kick on the way, and the extra point is a good one. It makes it a 14-6 ball game. 14-6.
So just like that, Union County may be going, my goodness, why did we call that time? They called a timeout thinking they were going to get the ball back, and they didn't get a chance to score, and the Wildcats in one play, deep ball from Davion Dean to Makai Mosley, take a 14-6 lead here. Brock Boatwright with the kicking duties tonight. Been 2 for 2 on PATs. Just a sophomore. Big shoes to fill. Blake Mays was kicked for the Wildcats last few years, but Brock Boatwright ready for the challenge. Looks good on those PATs, too.
Oh, it looks real good. Kicks it right through there. Keep in mind now, they're not rushing. And I don't mean the country rushing. I mean they're not rushing, like rushing the kicker here. We're in that preseason mode here. Preseason game doesn't count in the standings for either team, but as you can tell from some of these guys talking here a little bit on these last few possessions, it means a lot to these players. And Jackie, the Wildcats want to hold on here with 44 seconds to go, take this 14-6 lead, and we'll see. We'll see from there if Coach Mays wants to bring any of these varsity guys back out. But as we promised, we will have our Baker County Farm Bureau halftime report, dependable heating and air conditioning halftime report. We'll talk about the season to come, Jackie, the schedule upcoming for these Wildcats. We'll talk about what your thoughts are on some of these teams they've ranked in the top 5 of the AP poll to start the season for college football. We'll talk about some of that tonight. You know, we're not going to get too much into it, Jackie, but we will talk a little bit about it because I've got some things up there that are frustrating me just a little bit. And then I want to just ask you a couple of questions. I know you don't really care. Most of these guys around here that are Atlanta Braves fans, they don't really care about regular season. You know, I watch these Major League Baseball games coming down to the playoffs all the time. But I want to ask you something about Major League Baseball at the halftime, and we'll do that too, okay, as we get down to the halftime break here in just a moment.
As long as that does not involve the Phillies, I'm on board.
Well. It involves me watching the Phillies games. How about that? It has to do with that box that they put on the screen.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
The ball and strike box.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
I got you.
That's what it's got to talk about. We're going to talk about that. 44 seconds to go here, first half. Cats on top, 14-6. What a great performance by this Wildcat defense here tonight. They're back on the field here to close out the half. We've seen Cale Cruz, Case Foster, Seth Chestnut, Phillip Jackson. What a game all those guys have had. Now Klein, under pressure, going to fire one to the left side. Very short gain. He was under pressure by that Wildcat defensive front. Number 50 for the Cats, Kai Bishop, was chasing him down. 2nd and 5.
I think we just got penalized 30 yards for that unsportsmanlike. They marked 15 on the kickoff and then gave them 15.
Klein trying to throw one out here to the left side. You think they gave him 15 twice? Is that what you think?
Yeah, because we kicked it. Boatwright had a good kick to the 20-yard line, and they spotted it at the 35. So, 30-yard penalty after the touchdown.
That little bit of a baby breeze we've got coming through the window feels good, doesn't it, Jack?
No doubt.
Incomplete pass on 2nd down makes it 3rd down and call it 7. 17 seconds left here in the first half. Klein, the quarterback for Union County, in the shotgun. Wildcats on defense. 3rd down play. Klein, straight drop, fires one across the middle. It's tipped up in the air, and Davion Dean's going to get the interception. And Davion Dean's going to get tackled around the 35-yard line of Union County, as that's going to end the first half here. Davion Dean with the interception. Wildcats get a couple of turnovers here in the first half. Cale Cruz picked up a fumble early on. Davion Dean with the tip drill interception here. And the Wildcats defense has done the job here in the first half.
Yeah, defense getting after it right here. Tip drill there with Davion Dean. So 2 turnovers in the first half, and the last time it resulted in points. Can it again with 8 seconds to go here.
Well, is Coach May is going to dial one up and try to throw one to the end zone here with only 8 seconds to go? Or
why not?
Do you just take a knee? The classy side of the world says you just take a knee. Here you go. The Spurrier world says throw it to the end zone. Davion Dean fires one down there, and it's going to be knocked away. And they're still going to have 1.4 seconds left, and there's flags on the field. So
We're going to get holding here. So now with 1.4, I'd probably take a knee.
I probably would, too. Coach Mays will probably make that decision here because I think that's holding against the Cats.
Flag on the field. Hey, you talk about the banners and all the sponsors right here.
Yeah.
If you're listening and you're not a sponsor, if we get enough banners to hang around here, we may could build a dome, Mike.
Oh.
Hey, AC. All the time. If you're in the stands and you're just miserable right now, think about donating to the Wildcat Football Booster Club.
Has a dome been considered at the booster meeting? I'm sorry, I haven't been to very many meetings lately.
It's in the 2060 plan. We got a 30-year plan.
First down play now. Davion Dean just going to run a little screen play here, trying to get something going, but it's incomplete again. That's going to end the half. So the Cats offense, sometimes it's looked good on that big pass play a moment ago, and other times we just can't quite connect. But either way, the Cats get enough in the first half to make it a 14-6 lead over Union County as these teams head towards the locker room. And we'll see if the Wildcats varsity comes back out here for the second half. But either way, we're going to have the Baker County Farm Bureau and Dependable Heating and Air Conditioning halftime show coming up in just a moment right here on WFBB 97.5 FM.
Hi, this is Larry Birkins of Birkins Chevrolet in McClenny. It is truly an honor to help make these Wildcat radio broadcasts possible. Burkin Chevrolet with sales and service 6 days a week. Cars, trucks, SUVs, certified used cars. We help customers establish or reestablish credit. Thank you, Wildcat fans. From Larry Burkins at Burkin Chevrolet, US 90 in the heart of McClenny.
Online at BurkinChevy.com.
Since 1967, Dependable Heating and Air Conditioning has had the goal to acquire customers and maintain their complete satisfaction throughout the business relationship. Located in McClenny with almost 60 years of serving the McClenny area, excellence has been their hallmark. Did you know that now Dependable Heating and Air Conditioning also carries Amana products? Amana has been known since 1934 as having some of the most reliable and dependable heating and air conditioning systems in the business. If you're struggling with who to call for your air conditioning service, give them a call. Dependable Heating and Air Conditioning, 259-6546. That's 259-6546.
Dual State Real Estate is a proud supporter of Wildcat football. We offer home and land sales as well as property management in Florida and Georgia. Come in for a free consultation and we'll show you how to get up to 16% more for your property. Mention this ad and we'll give you free buyer representation. Don't hesitate, call Dual State, owned and operated by Sabrina Thrift. Call us today at 904-397-0263 or check us out at dualstaterealestate.com. We'll give you service you deserve from people you can trust. And at Dual State Real Estate, we are always Wildcat proud.
Pereira Funeral Services asks, how do you want to be remembered?
I'd like to be remembered as somebody who treated people with love and respect.
I'd like to be remembered as someone who made other people feel important.
I would like to be remembered as a loving husband and father.
I want to be remembered as the Sunshine Gal, who was a compassionate listener with unconditional love.
How would you like to be remembered?
I want to be remembered as somebody who made a difference in this world.
Baker High Football is brought to you by Ferreira Funeral Services, 259-5700.
Go Wildcats! Chris Harvey with Harvey Pest Management wants to thank Baker County and all the surrounding areas for supporting our business. Also, we want to wish the Wildcats the best this coming season. For all of your pest management needs, give us a call, 904-653-7378. That's 904-653-7378. Thank you for supporting Harvey Pest Management.
We live in the small towns of North Florida, and we deserve only the finest in healthcare. We're fortunate to have that right here in McClenny at Ed Frazier Memorial Hospital. Here, we receive personalized treatment options that focus on wellness. It's reassuring to know that our doctors are just as qualified as larger hospitals, and our medical technology is the best available. Ed Frazier Memorial Hospital at Baker County Medical Services. The best part? They treat you like family.
And we welcome you back here to Memorial Stadium, downtown McClenny, Florida. Mike Cruz, Jackie Baker bringing you all the action. 2023 Baker County Wildcat football one more time around here, Jackie, for you and I. And Union County, I had a couple people texting me during the break saying, where's Union County? And I said, that's Lake Butler. I mean, how do you not know where Union County is? But, hey, one of them was my mama, so I better be nice.
We got to bring AP geography back. Lake Butler, folks. Lake Butler.
Lake Butler, just right down the road. A short piece right down here to Lake Butler, Florida. Wildcats 14. Union County, Lake Butler 6 in the first half. And Wildcats got a 20-yard touchdown run from Benny Lewis there early in the half to give us a 7-0 lead. Union County came back and got a touchdown of their own, but missed the 2-point conversion. It was a 7-6 ball game. And then the Wildcats went deep. Davion Dean found Makai Mosley deep down the field, and Makai Mosley took it the rest of the way for a 68-yard touchdown pass. And the Cats added the extra point, and that's where we stand right now, 14-6.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it. A lot of question marks surrounding the new season period, but when you lose as many starters as this Wildcat team did, you really got to look and think, well, what is this season going to look like? And so far, the defense has made a name for itself out there in that first half, Mike. They got worn down. Union County was able to go down and score one touchdown, but after a couple penalties there, penalty yardage, and after a turnover, so able to go down, score on this Wildcat team, and just a long drive that just kind of chopped us down at the knees a little bit and got inside the 5, and Williams was able to punch it in after 3 tries. Offensively, not a whole lot going on so far. Trying to figure it out. Big plays is where it's at. Hadn't been able to really sustain a drive tonight, so trying to work on that offensive side of the ball.
Well, Jackie, one more time, I just want to remind folks about the sponsors for Wildcat football here on WFBB all season long. Jackie, I want folks to know this, and I'll make sure that it's loud and clear. The Wildcats, the Baker County High School here, they own the rights to any broadcast, whether it's television broadcast, radio broadcast, whatever type of broadcast. The Wildcat, the high school owns the rights to that. So by the fact that the Wildcats own the rights to this, they're able to take a partnership with Glen Baptist here to sell their own advertisement. And so any sponsorship for these Wildcat football teams goes directly back into the Baker County Athletic Fund and also to Glen Baptist to help keep the radio station on the air. So all these folks that are helping keep the radio on the air, I truly mean that, right? They truly are. So all this money that comes in from these guys, it goes right back into Baker County Athletics. And so the high school, the folks involved, they appreciate all these guys. I mentioned it before, Baker Health Services, Ed Frazier Hospital, my man Todd Ferreira down there at Ferreira Funeral Home, Dual State Real Estate, Sabrina Thrift, Foster's Contracting. I talked to Robbie today, and we're going to have Robbie's commercial ready to go next week for the game. But he's a general contractor and plumber here in town. I know you've seen those Foster's Plumbing and general contracting trucks around town. And they're the hometown full-service plumbing and general contracting company for sure. We've got Birkins Chevrolet. My man Larry Birkins down there again back this year. Farm Bureau, Jack Baker. Reminds me I need to talk to him about my truck insurance. Dependable Heating and Air Conditioning, my man Oscar Gray. And Harvey Pest Management. Chris Harvey, new sponsor on with us this year. Wildcat Tim Hughes, my man Wildcat Tim Hughes, American Recycling. He's on board with us for 2023. Robbie Lancaster and the guys down there at Taylor Healthcare. And then last but certainly not least, Sheriff of Baker County, Scotty Roden, and the Baker County Sheriff's Department.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't do it without those guys. You hear us talk about them a lot, and it's for good reason. I mean, you talked about just the general airways and paying the way to get these games on the radio, but all that money goes back into the athletic fund for the high school, and they don't take that lightly, you know. I mean, they pay a substantial fee to get on here and have these radio ads, so again, we appreciate them for their support of Wildcat football and Baker County athletics.
Man, the best thing about being up here at Memorial Stadium, Jack, you see some of these familiar faces that you see year in and year out. And big crowd here tonight, you know, good crowd, people excited about football season. Are you excited about it? You know, all I hear, if I turn left, turn right, all you hear is how bad the Gators are going to be, how good Georgia is again, which I'll give Georgia credit. Georgia has proved it, and they're there. Alabama is going to be good again. You're going to have some teams like Michigan and Ohio State up there again. But where in the world are these people coming from all of a sudden? You know, the Gators beat FSU 5 years in a row, and last year was a 6-point ball game in Tallahassee. And all these people all of a sudden, they got FSU ranked in the top 5. What in the world, Jack?
You know, I mean, it's just typical college football banter. You know, everybody's a Final Four team before the season starts. And my goodness, I mean, if you can't recognize nobody is doing anything else except Billy Napier. Billy Napier is the only one that's moving up in the charts, Mike. Got the number 3 recruiting class in the country, putting Florida back on the map. Georgia's just kind of there, set to number 1. Kirby Smart doing what he does. Mike Norvell, my goodness, that guy had put together a top 20 recruiting class since he's been there.
I'm going to call it.
Top 10.
they talk about, we got some transfers in, whatever. Hey, I'm going to tell you, FSU is going to lose 3, maybe 4 games this year. They're going to lose to LSU to start the year. They're going to lose to Clemson, and they're going to lose to Florida and Gainesville. They're going to lose another one somewhere along the way. Give them 4 losses, Jackie. They are not anywhere near where they think they are. But that's me talking, They can say the same thing about my team, which is true.
I'm writing it down.
Write it down. Jackie, the thing I was going to tell you about Major League Baseball, and I hope I didn't offend any FSU fans. If they're listening, they know I'm kidding with them. Anyway,
I'm not.
I'm not kidding about them losing games, but I'm kidding with them about being FSU fans. That's a whole other story. How did you even become an FSU fan? Anyway, Jackie, the thing I was going to tell you about Major League Baseball, if you watch a game anymore, they have instant replay. Okay, they have review. Coaches get a certain number of challenges, and then they can even ask late in the game. Well, we talked last year, coming down to the end of the wire, how good the Phillies were, beat the Braves in the playoffs, went to the World Series. You remember that, right?
Yeah.
Well, hey, the Braves are doing great. I'm going to give them their due right now. They're doing great. Phillies are right there, though. They're in the wild card hunt. But this is what frustrates me, Jackie. You can't review balls and strikes, okay? But they leave this box on the screen to let you know every time the home plate umpire, misses a ball or strike call, okay? So you know that as a fan. Sometimes I think even in the stadiums they're showing that box on the screen. Jackie, they got to do one of two things. You either got to take the box off the screen before I have a heart attack when I'm watching a game, or just take the umpires off the field altogether. Which one are they going to do?
I can't believe the Umpires Association hadn't said, hey, the requirement is we're not coming back unless you take that box off the TV. All it's showing is our fault.
I loved it so much better. Listen, the replay aspect of it is great. Give the coaches, if there's a safer out call, first base, safer out call, fair, foul ball, whatever it is, home run call, did the ball really go over, was it a ground rule, double, whatever. Those are the kind of calls that they can go back and replay. Those are fine. But either take that box off of the screen or take the umpires off the field. That's the way I look at it. It is killing me.
And we talked about it. I think in the AAA ranks, they've done a little bit where you can review not every ball and strike, but you get so many reviews to review ball and strikes. And
you think about it, in tennis, you watch Wimbledon. If the serve hits the line, you hear or it doesn't hit the line, you hear the beep, and that electronic cyclops is what they call it. It automatically tells you right away, So they could do the same thing in baseball. If it's inside the box, you hear a ding, ding, and if it's not, you hear a.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just saying. It's one of those things I was thinking about coming into the night, but a lot of these folks listening in probably don't even watch baseball. Jackie, let's talk a little bit about more of this schedule as we get set to bring the Wildcats back out of the locker room. I mentioned it. From here, 4 weeks on the road. So we go next week to Bradford High School over in Stark, face the Tornadoes. Then the following week, we'll go to Oakleaf and face the Knights, a team that we got a big win against last year here in Baker County. That following week, on a Thursday night, we're going to go participate in that Baker Sporting Goods Brunswick event up in Brunswick, Georgia. We'll face Glenn Academy from Georgia up there. And then we'll come back and face Baldwin in week 4 over in Baldwin for the first district game of the year for the Cats on the road. So those next 4 weeks are key for this team. Jackie, what do you see tonight that the Wildcats are going to have to work on as we head to Bradford next week?
I can tell you that the offense has got to get going. We go into these kickoff classics, and I know you're working on certain things, and you hear them say every year, and it's not just Baker County's head coach. I've heard other head coaches say, well, we don't want to show them everything in the kickoff classic. We got real opponents coming up. So there could be some of that. We're just scratching the surface of the playbook and not doing a whole lot down there. And you're still trying to figure out where you're going to play guys. You've had all summer, but when you come to a place like Baker County, depth is a word you hear a lot at every level of football. When you come to Baker County, there's years where you don't have a lot of depth. You got your 22 guys, and there's not a whole lot behind that. So when you're watching this starting 11 go against some of your second, third string guys in practice, they may look like all-stars. But if you get to a game, you may say, hey, this guy's playing a lot better. So they're still evaluating players down there on the field, but you got to get moving on offense. The defense done a good job tonight, but those guys, you can see a couple cramps early on in the game. And I know it's hot, I know it's muggy, but guess what? These first 2 or 3 weeks, it shows no sign of getting any cooler. So we got to get used to that, because a guy like Seth Chestnut comes off the field, that can hurt you.
Yeah, ain't no doubt. I mean, what a night he's had. We called his name a lot last year. You talk about some of those guys that we don't have from last year. You know, Cam Smith, a guy that just an unbelievable difference maker in a high school football game. You know, that's a tough act to follow. We got a couple of different guys to hand the ball off to down there, though, so it's going to be fun to watch how that thing shakes out this year. You know, early on last year, Jackie, if you recall, it didn't look so good for the Wildcat offense. The team didn't look like we were coming together. But Coach Mays, by the middle part of the last season last year, I tell you what, things really took a turn. And the team came together. There was a different chemistry, and eventually making it to the third round of the playoffs. So what you see tonight, offensively, it'll get better. Defensively is well ahead of the offense right now, like we talked about. So they're going to have to fine-tune some things, make sure some guys get hurt. The offense is going to have to help them out so they're not on the field all night long, like you were saying. So a lot of football to go from here, but, man, just being here for football season, isn't that exciting?
Oh, no doubt about it. When they stepped foot on the field earlier for the pregame, it was just great to be back in Memorial Stadium on a Friday night. I'm going to tell you, you talked about it, the middle section, we kind of give them a hard time the last couple of years because it's been kind of thin up here on Fridays, but tonight they showed up, man. They're piled in here all in red. Thanks to our health department, I believe, threw out these red towels for the game, and so everybody dressed in red tonight. And good crowd for a Friday night.
All right, Jackie, I gave a shout-out earlier. Your chance for a shout-out.
We got to give this shout-out or we'll both be fired. We got to give a shout-out to Erica Mays. Erica Mays to the stage. She's that's Coach Mays' wife. She is moving with their oldest son, Brandon, to his first duty post. Brandon just graduated from West Point up there, so going to I can't remember where he's going, somewhere in Oklahoma, though, maybe Fort Stewart or something like that. I can't exactly remember the name of the base he's going to be stationed at, but newly married, and so he packed up a U-Haul.
There you go.
And headed that way with his wife, his new wife, and needed his mom to come along.
Mama went with him.
Mom had to go with him. She wasn't going to let that baby move off without her being there, so she went over there to help. Long drive over to Oklahoma, but you see Kevin Mays around. You know Erica Mays is always in the stands cheering these Wildcats on. So number one supporter of this Wildcat team, and so we're sorry we missed her tonight, but I hope she has safe travels. And Brandon, good luck on everything that you're doing, and congratulations, buddy.
I tell you what, ever since Coach Mays has been here, Jackie, he's had a son down there on the football field with him, and this is the first year, with Blake graduating last year, that they don't have a son out here playing. So I wonder what that transition's like for Miss Mays.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure he's maybe happy to quit feeding all of them, but Mama Mays, matter of fact, she just texted, and Brandon's in Fort Steele in Oklahoma. So, yeah, we wish him all the best, and thank you for his service. And safe travels back, Erica, and we'll see you next Friday in Bradford County.
Big shout-out. Erica Mays, she's one of our favorites. She's a teacher with the Baker County School District, and she does a great job. And tell you what, since Coach Mays has been here, she's one of the biggest supporters of Wildcat football, and we'll get a chance to return visit from their folks, Vieira. That'll be our first actual home game the week after Baldwin, our first district game. Vieira is going to come back here. If you remember, you and I went to Vieira last year and got rained on for about the first half of the game.
Left our rain jackets in the truck. Said it wasn't going to rain anymore.
It looked great right until kickoff, didn't it?
Goodness.
Wildcats come back out of the locker room. Again, I want to thank all the sponsors that make Wildcat football possible. Stick with Jackie and I for a little part of this third quarter. We're going to tell you what's happening with regard to this, and then we're going to get out of here for the night, and then you'll hear from us again at 7 o'clock, or is it 7:30 in Bradford next week?
I will have to check that. I'm not sure.
Just keep an eye on the 97.5 WFBB Facebook page, and you'll know it'll either be 7 or 7:30 over at Bradford next week. These contracts these high school guys do, some weeks at 7, some weeks at 7:30. So we'll check on that. And next week over in Bradford, the Wildcats That'll be our first regular season game of the year. Let's send it back to John Meadows for a 2-minute timeout. We'll be back with more Wildcat football right here on WFBB 97.5 FM.
Have you ever thought about cleaning out your garage or wonder what you need to do with all those aluminum cans or scrap metal you've got laying around in the backyard? Well, look no further. You just need to load it up and head to American Recycling. Tim Hughes owns and operates American Recycling on Woodlawn Road in McClenny, Florida. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and on the second and fourth Saturdays of every month from 9 a.m. to noon. Stop by and see Tim and maybe even cash in on that stuff you've got laying around. Tim and American Recycling say, go Wildcat.
Baker County Farm Bureau wants to wish the Baker County Wildcats much success this football season. Baker County Farm Bureau, specializing in auto insurance, homeowners insurance, along with life insurance. To get started with Farm Bureau, contact Jack Baker or Justin Webb at 259-6332. That's 259-6332.
Hi, this is Larry Birkins of Birkin Chevrolet in McClenny. It is truly an honor to help make these Wildcat radio broadcasts possible. Birkin Chevrolet with sales and service 6 days a week. Cars, trucks, SUVs, certified used cars. We help customers establish or reestablish credit. Thank you, Wildcat fans. From Larry Birkins at Birkin Chevrolet, US 90 in the heart of McClenny.
Online at BirkinChevy.com.
Jeremy Height to the booth ASAP.
Go for it. Oh, we're on? And we welcome you back here to Memorial Stadium, downtown McClenny, Florida. Sorry if you heard any of that. We didn't know we were on the air. Here we go. 11 and a half minutes to go, third quarter. Wildcat varsity offense back on the field here. Quarterback this time for the Cats is number 6. Jackie, who you got there? Makai Mosley swings it out to the left side. Catch is made. Going to be tackled right away. I have to check the numbers here on a couple of these guys. We do have some varsity guys still out on the field, and looks like they might play through the third quarter here. So that was Chase Phillips on the catch. Going to make it third down and long, third down and 8.
Yeah, Makai Mosley, number 6. You heard us call his name on that long receiving touchdown earlier. He's going to be the backup quarterback this year, so getting some reps in at quarterback tonight.
Third down and 8. Makai Mosley in the shotgun. He's going to take the snap, and he's going to lose the football. The ball was on the ground, and the Wildcats able to recover it, but it's going to be fourth down. Fumble on the play, and we'll have to punt it back to Union County.
That time Mosley looked like he just tried to pull it out of the stomach of the running back a little late. Ball fell to the turf. Wildcats lucky to recover. Now Boatwright going to go in and give it a boot.
Boatwright in there to boot it away, like you said. Union County going to come away with good field position here. I'll be honest with you, though, Jackie, Union County's really had good field position the whole first half, and they only broke free for one touchdown drive, and that was after a couple of really big plays. You know, they got the big pass play from the quarterback when he scrambled, and the Wildcats had him covered in the backfield. They got the big pass play, then they ran it down inside the 10-yard line, then they just kind of punched it in from there. So the Wildcat defense, aside from those couple of plays on that drive, have really stymied this Union County offense.
Yeah, I mean, this defense, they played great football all night. Union County tried to just come down and work it up the middle and play a little power football, and the Wildcat defense was having none of it in that first half.
That Bradford County game, or not Bradford County game, I get on to people when they do that. That Bradford High School game next week, Jackie, is 7:30. I just got confirmation. 7:30 next week. So don't forget that. Coach Meadows back at Glen Baptist Studios. 7:30 kickoff next week. We'll go on the air sometime around 7:20. most likely from the stands over there in Bradford, so hopefully it won't rain.
Oh, my gosh, that place is a pig pen when it rains.
We'll have to remind Jeremy Height that we'll need to bring our 100-foot extension cord so we can have some power from the stands. But, yeah, we don't need rain next week, Jackie.
Yeah, not at all. If it does, bring you
poncho,
water boots.
Third down play coming up for Union County. They ran the ball on second down, nowhere to go. 9:11 to go here, third quarter. Kickoff Classic 2023. The Wildcats of Baker County here on the Memorial Stadium field tonight. And we got a chance to walk down there before the game, Jackie. The turf thick tonight. Thick and a little higher than normal. A lot of rain. Some of these afternoon showers have really come in, but then you'll have 5 or 6 days where it's 100 and something degrees and it's hot. So
Got it out.
But tonight, Jackie, the last, 30 minutes or so, it looks like some really dark clouds have kind of gathered around the stadium here. Hopefully we won't see any weather here in the second half.
I tell you, as old as this field is and this stadium is, it is still one of the nicest fields in really North Florida. I mean, we go to a lot of places, get to travel around and see a lot, but natural grass, turf, Mr. David Crawford, he does a great job down here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful. The turf's always in great shape, but just the Friday night atmosphere and the environment, I mean, this is all the memories and the games and the things that have happened on this field over the years, and that turf has seen them all. There's been a little bit different shake-up with some of the logos that have been out there over the years, but for the most part, that BCHS and Wildcats has been painted in that end zone for years and years and years, and nice job by the grounds crew led by David Crawford and all those guys. And I know they've been putting the work in. Third down play. They're going to roll the quarterback to the right side, and now he's going to scramble. He's going to get the first down and more across midfield, as that's a freshman, Jackie. A freshman quarterback comes in there for Union County, and I lost my Union County roster, but I was watching him before the game, warming up with Klein out there, and number 14 is Brian Tyson, freshman quarterback on that roster for Union.
Yeah, a bunch of the young guys getting in now. Kind of a little preseason-esque, you know.
Still the varsity unit is out there, you know, for the most part. I see a couple of young guys getting some time. First down and 10. First down and 10 for Union County. Now they trade out quarterbacks this time. They're going to run the ball straight up the middle, and the Wildcat defense is going to let him get down there inside the 30-yard line or so. I think he just wanted to see our first-string offense come out there in the first drive of the second half, Jackie. Now you're going to see a lot of young guys checking into this game and getting some playing time. So as we wind down here in the third quarter. So, Jackie, what are your thoughts on this, you know, the positive aspects of tonight's game?
I mean, the defense, I think, played really well. I don't know that you could ask for a better effort out of those guys. And offensively, listen, there weren't a whole lot of negative plays. You know, it was just 1 and 2 yard plays. So that's very bright that maybe it's just a slight missed assignment from Benny Lewis going another 25 yards.
Yeah, that's
not a lot of negative things happening. Davion Dean, he looked good back there, looked comfortable in the pocket at times. No turnovers that I can think of. A couple close calls, but no turnovers.
Not on our offense. Defense got 2.
Yep.
2 turnovers for our defense in that half. And, you know, tomorrow, Jackie, as you're walking around town and people are going to ask you, who won the Wildcat game last night? Well, when the varsity teams ended on the field, the Wildcats had a 14-6 lead. So just remember that. The 2 varsities squaring off against each other. The Wildcats had that lead 14-6. And as we wind this thing down toward the end of the third quarter, Jackie, you and I are going to get out of here and send it back to our guy, John Meadows, over at Glen Baptist Church. And I can't thank them enough. You know, Pastor Chaz Rowland, ever since he's been here in Baker County, he's been nothing but a solid supporter of Wildcat football on that ministry over there in 97.5 WFBB, so make sure you follow their Facebook page. You'll see the updates all year long for Wildcat football right there on the Facebook page, 97.5 FM. And John Meadows is our guy that helps keep us on the air every Friday night, so it's good to have a chance to talk with John Meadows again here tonight. Good friend of ours for sure. And one more time before we go, Jackie, I just want to say thank you to these sponsors who make it possible. You've heard them tonight: Sheriff Scotty Roden, Taylor Healthcare, American Recycling, my buddy Tim Hughes, Harvey Pest Control, Chris Harvey, and Dependable Heating and Air Conditioning, our friend Oscar Gray, and Baker County Farm Bureau, Justin Webb and Jack Baker, Birkin Chevrolet with Larry Birkins down there, Foster's Contracting, Robbie Foster. They do general contracting and plumbing work. And then you've got Dual State Real Estate, Sabrina Thrift, and Ferreira Funeral Home, Todd Ferreira, and then Baker County Hospital Systems, Ed Fraser Hospital. So those are the folks, Jackie, throughout the year that are going to keep Wildcat Radio on the air, and we thank them for everything they do. But for now, for you and for me and for John Meadows back at the station, we're going to send it in and call it a night here from Memorial Stadium and say good night, everybody. Next week, 7:30 kickoff at Bradford High School over in Stark. So if you're a Wildcat fan, you want to remember to try to get there early and get your seats, because it'll be a good one between those two teams from the playoffs a year ago. Thank you for listening tonight to Wildcat Football on WFBB. We're excited to be back for another exciting season of Wildcat Football, and we'll talk to you next week from Bradford High School. Good night, everybody.